Do you like music? Of course you do, you're watching Project y.b.t.f.c! Actually, coming to think about it, you probably aren't coming to Project y.b.t.f.c to learn about music. You know, considering the plethora of the YouTubers that are much better at the job. So you're probably more here for the Tally Hall members, but you know, never mind. It's just too bad that there are only 2 albums on this earth, which means there are only 29 songs in existence. One day I was mourning the fact that these 5 men are the only people on this earth who have thought to put a bunch of notes together and then say stuff over them melodically. And that's when I saw something in the news. Something shocking. Taylor Swift had released The Tortured Poets Department? I was in disbelief. Who's Taylor Swift and how has she been the first one to release an album since Tally Hall? I had no idea who she was, so I went searching and I found out that she essentially owns the music industry. And that's how I found out Tally Hall are not the only ones to have ever released music. There's a whole industry around it. And so I decided to go digging through all this music I missed out on in my life.
And I thought it was only right that I share my discoveries with you.
Okay, yeah. This is a Tally Hall channel. Obviously I recommend Tally Hall and their other side projects. Since everyone watching this probably already knows about Tally Hall, I probably don't need to go very deep on them. They're an indie band that kind of has a reputation for being all over the place with their music. If that interests you, I'd strongly recommend them. Personally, I've always liked Marvin's Marvelous Mechanical Museum and Joe Holly best. However, many would disagree with me, and that's the beauty of Tally Hall. It's normally the passion and the skill behind the songs that kind of connects all of them together. I won't go into any more detail, I'll use the rest of this segment to kind of talk about how I'm going to do this. I'm going to go in ascending order of obscurity. And when I say obscurity, I'm going to do it from a Tally Hall perspective. For example, while My Chemical Romance is well known, I see more Tally Hall fans that are a fan of Will Wood, for example, than I see them being fans of My Chemical Romance. This means that in theory, for the purposes of this list, Will Wood would be set before My Chemical Romance. Neither on this list, though I do recommend them. Let's begin. I don't have any physical copies of Jack Stauber to show you. However, his albums are Finite Form, Vieta, Pop Food, High Low, and his various micropop EPs. Personally, I've always more been into his micropop, but, you know, that's my opinion, and I should probably give it another go. However, that doesn't mean I don't like the albums. Here are some recommendations both from Jack Stauber and Jack Stauber's micropop.
Tears falling down at the party. Saddest little baby in the room.
All the monsters in his cave. Keep quiet, we'll be safe. Take your loving wrap around my brain.
Living in her forehead, running away. So I'm out on the block again, so popped up that I can't pretend.
Today is one of those days, stuck between yesterday and tomorrow.
I can tell that your drinking eyes never open. And all London dance, live a fantasy for the horrors of life not to believe.
Personally, I just absolutely adore how it sounds. It's all over the place and sounds quite old, but like in a quite nice sounding way. He's unapologetically strange, and I've always loved that about an artist. He's also really fun to watch live, because you know, he's all bouncy and everything. And if you like his music, why stop there? He has many animated shorts on his channel, and he has 2 short films. I love both the short films, and they're both musicals, so here's some recommendations from those.
Do I need it? Am I under control?
It's irreversible. Unraveling is
They turned me down, now I live my nightmare. Gotta be seen by someone out there.
Tell me, why does it sound so easy to breathe on TV?
Fair word of warning, if you do watch Opal, it does have many heavy topics, as do many of Jack's songs, so if that's what you're into, you might enjoy him. Examples of his songs that contain heavy topics are the following. Baby Hotline and Dinner Is Not Over is about suicide.
I've tasted friendship, I've tasted you, I've tasted dying and it's mistaken.
Bumblebees Are Out, which discusses child abuse.
Take a flower, bumblebees are out.
Hope is about addiction.
Just a little chunk of hope, keeps me going every day.
I'm a Bee Man and Today Today are both about grief.
I hope she's not dead. Yeah, I hope she's not dead. I hope she's not dead. Yeah, I hope she's not dead.
And The Ballad of Hamantha, well, I'd recommend you just listen to that one and see what I mean. And with that, my pitch for Jack Stauber is over. On to the next musicians. Oh my god, I love the Wombats. You know how I have like a channel themed around Tally Hall and like everything I do is Tally Hall? Well, prior to that, it was the Wombats, and then before that it was Jack Stauber, but you know. I would have had a Wombats channel if they had a fandom. They're a British indie band that define themselves as both rock and pop, and also just absolutely nothing. Every single album they release has a kind of different sound to it. I have physical copies of all of their work because I just love them so much. I personally prefer their old work over their newer work, but that's a personal preference, and you can feel however you want about it. And, okay, right. That's not a physical copy of an album, that's a shirt. Why are you showing us a shirt? Right, that's not what you're meant to be doing, is it? Right. Shoes, no, okay, you're not going to show them all your merch. You don't even have all your... What are you doing now? What are you doing? Oh my god. Okay, do you even know how to open that? Look, you've knocked all the toys over. Okay, right. Yes, you have a big Matthew Murphy blanket. What do you want to say? Well, we're not going to be impressed, are we? The worst part is, that's not even all of it. But anyway, I'm meant to be recommending you music. I'm going to limit myself to 3 songs of each album maximum.
Let's dance to Joy Division and celebrate the irony. If this is a rom-com, kill the director. It all started on the school bus. You were 9 and I was 10. We feel nothing's so jumping to the fog, and I hope that we hit the ground upright. So shut up and move with me, or get out of my face. She hits like ecstasy. Your body is a weapon, love. I push and you tend to shove on. Give in and you don't give up. Spare me the drone of your conversation. Spare me my lack of sophistication.
As you can see, a lot of upbeat tracks that are unapologetically British. They have some slower tracks, but personally I've always preferred the more energetic stuff. They tend to write, how do I put this, head-reflecting tunes of how love bites. So if you like what Rob writes about, you might like them. Though they do also touch on heavier topics. Examples of those songs would be Motophobia.
Motophobia is setting in, and it crushes like that tin can.
Anti-D.
Please allow me to be your antidepressant.
Schumacher the Champagne.
Schumacher the champagne, whoever needed good cause to celebrate.
And Here Comes the Anxiety.
I hope that no one ever leaves, cause I don't wanna be alone with me.
Something I've always loved about their writing style is their metaphors. I love super poetic metaphors that work really well to describe what they're trying to say. It's one of the things I really like about Taylor Swift. I mean, I don't know who Taylor Swift is, so that can't be true, but, you know, the Wombats do it as well. Since you guys are watching Project y.b.t.f.c, I'm going to assume you have an interest in the members. And trust me, these members are extremely entertaining to watch.
Cheer.
World domination, I guess, and
That'd be nice.
winning the league. It's not much to ask for, really, is it?
Am I taking?
It's now and then.
Yeah, they've not had the
It's hard to
greatest.
follow them like when we're on tour all the time.
Will you two stop mucking about?
Sorry.
We'll send you to the naughty step.
To celebrate Murph and Todd's birthdays. They are born one day apart, so we got them a cake of the worst drummer, and they can stick a knife through it. That's me playing bongos in the studio.
I like how the nipple's almost trying to hide behind the lead.
It's got to be out in 2010, otherwise Murph is...
I've got a bit of a major forfeit to do. I'm going to go up, get naked and climb to the top of the library building and sing Everybody Hurts by R.E.M.
So I personally am trying to sabotage the whole process as much as possible. Yeah.
And if you like them, they have some solo work. These include Love, Fame, Tragedies, Wherever I Go I Want to Leave, and Life is a Killer. Dan the Man's Brightly Coloured Creatures, and Sunship Balloons, Real Humans, and Intergalactic Teacup. I'll play one song off each.
You only want me when I'm stuck in your head and you're playing the victim again. I can feel you slipping away, slipping away, slipping away. Are you going through the motions? Just a firefly in the dark. Complex animal. Just complex animal. And you say
like Love, Fame, Tragedy best. But to be fair, I seem to have a thing for the mentally ill lead singer's solo work. And I know this is a really difficult concept for you guys to get, but they're still an active band. They're in fact recording a new album right now. And they're such an old band that like Tally Hall, you can just find 16-year-old videos that are really low quality of them just like doing stuff.
Shit, okay.
So overall, if you like Tally Hall, recommend them. I unfortunately do not have any physical versions of Candid stuff. Though I don't really know any of their albums, so that's probably just fine. Like, the only stuff that I've really listened to is singles. But I really recommend the stuff that I've heard of theirs. It's underappreciated in my opinion. Here's some examples of some of their work. As you can see, some very good music. Hey, and look, their lead is also called Rob. Well, there is actually debate in the Tally Hall community whether Rob is the lead of Tally Hall, but in Candid, there is no debate. Rob is the lead. And Rob is always there. Unlike in Tally Hall. However, their drummer isn't always there, although that seems to be a trend with my favourite bands. The drummers are always just slippery fellows. Not the Wombats though. Dan's always there for us. The Wombats does follow in the footsteps of having a mentally ill lead singer that just says the most random stuff constantly.
The opposite of a cat is a cat, but the opposing cat must be made of antimatter.
I think that bacon should be illegal.
The song is about the time I took a ride in a guy's IROC and got totally pregnant.
Beginning to wish I put My Chemical Romance on this list. I don't know, like if you'd want to see them in the part 2. Okay, now what was I saying before I went off on that tangent? Oh yeah, Candid. They're a stand-up group of English chaps that released music as recent as June 2024, so you know they're still active. I mean, I should know because they performed near me recently and I was in the exact place they were performing, so their posters were like put up everywhere around the place I was, and I wanted to go see them, but I was with my friend who is both blind and deaf and didn't know who the hell they were, so it wouldn't have been fair for me to take them into a dark hole to just like not see or hear anything while I just jam out. So being a nice friend, I missed my chance to watch them live. And that's not being a good friend! Also, I found out that the Wombats were performing at the Y.b.t.f.c festival, and I found out that Candid also had a chance performing there. The way they get to perform there is if they were voted in to be performers. So I understandably sent this voting thing round to everyone I knew and got them to vote for Candid so that Candid could, like, I guess, breathe the same air as the Wombats. And guess what? Candid ended up winning! And then I didn't go. I did not go to the Y.b.t.f.c festival. Why do I do this to myself? Basically, they're really talented, very, very fun. The universes want me to watch them live, so why don't you instead? I'll be honest, this is the most obscure band on this list. And when I say obscure, I mean they have an abysmal monthly listeners. We're out here worrying about Tally Hall being at like 4 million monthly listeners. These guys are at 0! Their music kind of gives us the vibes of all of the musical weird men at once. Like, I'll just show you. Listen to this song, tell me it doesn't sound like Willwood, Lemon Demon, Joe Hawley, and Jack Stauber simultaneously.
The feeling I get when I'm hanging with you, I'm leaving my temper on the ground.
It has like Lemon Demon vibes. And then it also has like Will Wood vibes, but like I can't really explain why. And like it kind of gives us the same feeling that Go to Bed and Getting My Mum On do. Also, a fact I found out while making this, the penguin that he's holding is called Pesci. So I guess that song's about the penguin called Pesci. Speaking of songs, here are some more song examples.
And I hate myself for loving you, and I hate myself for loving you. We can work together now, we can work together now, baby. So take me in your arms, I hear the silence of your heart. Oh, a heart cosmo. There's a headline in the paper stand, there's a place in hell for each hobo man. Keep shining those rays down, keep shining those rays down.
One of the singers kind of has Jack Stauber vibes to their voice. The other one has a more Matthew Murphy-like voice. And much like Tally Hall, they're a weird band inspired by the Beatles that just kind of stopped existing. And there's even less records of them than Tally Hall. And I know, as much as we want them to come back, a big part of the appeal of Tally Hall is the lack of information we have about them.
And I wonder what would have happened if they'd stuck with them. But then I don't think I'd be making the content I make now if I had got into them back then.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think whole part of
Like, I think there's definitely an aspect of the combination of, like, the lost media searches, and then also the fact that they haven't been active for so long that it adds this whole other layer of, like, curiosity and sort of building fandom around that.
Yeah, that's true.
These guys are exactly like that, but with even less information. They have one album that they've ever made, and it's self-titled much like Candid. I've personally been digging through a lot of stuff with these guys. Well, as much as you can. While I was doing that, I found this live show that was recorded in 2009. Now, the fact this was uploaded 4 years ago, whereas everything else was uploaded 11 years ago, was the second thing that piqued my interest, because I noticed it was called Orgasma. First off, they don't have a single song called Orgasma on their Polar Rays album. Second of all, what the hell? So I just had to watch the video to figure out what was going on. Oh, they're singing Cosmo! Best Animal Jam Alpha, I do not take any criticism, okay? He was the best. But no, that's actually really, really funny, because clearly this uploader doesn't really know anything about Polar Rays, and they probably don't know that they actually released an album, so they're just listening to this trying to guess what they're saying, and I find it really, really funny that that was their conclusion. Like, that's the equivalent of a live recording of I Know It's Just the Same by Tally Hall being uploaded, but like, it's called I Know I Just Came. They also thought that Lionheart was called England Burning, which gives us the same vibes as Stay by My Chemical Romance, considering that that song had Stay over and over and over again, but the fans just assumed it was called Someone Out There Loves You. But yeah, check out Polar Rays. I mean, like, they have one album, won't take you long. And since you're all Tally Hall fans, you probably don't care that they're not currently a band. I'm gonna try and get that CD signed. One way or another.
Okay, so, the takeaway from this video. What do we learn? Well, there's a lot of music out there, and I want you to listen to the ones I just recommended to you. Feel free to tell me if you enjoyed any of the songs that I recommended. And with that, I need to get back to, like, finding out about the rest of this music. But for the meantime, just in case you aren't a Tally Hall fan and you found this video, here's a recommendation from Tally Hall.
Do you like how I dance? I got draconian pants. Consequential enough to slip you into a trance. I wish you could have heard the music when the clouds crowd overhead. I've been sleeping in a cardboard box, spending every dollar at the liquor shop. Turn the lights off. Everybody likes to get taken returns. Big bad Betty of the apocalypse. She opens her lips and it goes like this. When the golden rule and the jungle meet. There are some things we are never meant to know.
Okay, we good? Right.
Now, what was it with that Taylor Swift person?